as you know, and you can probably see, I wear glasses. I'm a bespectacled man, they call it. And if that's not obvious to you, maybe you also need to be bespectacled. Because if you can't see that, then, well, yeah, I got bad news for you. Welcome to the club. All right, see that optometrist stat. But someone asked me recently, because, I wear glasses, they were like, would you ever be interested in wearing smart glasses? There's these companies that are coming out with cheap, affordable smart glasses that have these capabilities. I was like, oh, well, what are these capabilities? And they said, well, apparently there's this new one, just over $100, where you can look up stuff in real time, right? You can point at an object, be like, hey, glasses, can you tell me what that is? It's a box of frosted flakes, but I don't know that for sure. So can you give me, hey Grok, is this cereal real? No. If you blick Grok that close to your head, then you're donezo. There's nothing for you to do. But apparently these glasses, you can do stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but how do the glasses talk to you? How do they give you the feedback? It makes sense, right? You can point at something and be like, hey, come on, what is that? But then how in real time is it going to tell you that? Is it going to pop it up on the screen, or is it going to say it to you? And if it's saying it to you, is it just playing it out loud, or are there headphones that feed into your ear? And they're like, oh, well, I haven't looked into it that much, but I'm pretty sure it just plays it in a small speaker. It's just quiet enough so only you can hear it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, surely there has to be a way around that, right? Where they can just let you get it right into your ear. Like, you should be the only one that hears that information. And I was like, oh, maybe they could come out with like an AirPod equivalent that the Apple, the team over at Apple, they've perfected, and put that in, and maybe it works in tandem. The more parts you can sell, the more, what is it? There's a word I'm looking for here and I can't find it, but the more, right, things you can sell with the thing to make it work, right? The old batteries not included model, yeah. Then you get more sales, right? Then people have to buy more stuff. And then they were like, oh, yeah, that's true. But no, I think if you just play it out loud, it should be fine. I was like, no, certainly with the technology of today, there has to be a way to feed it right into the ear. And then I remembered bone conductor technology. Do you know about this? Back when I used to run, right? I used to wear these bone conductor headphones. They kind of go around your ear and then they attach through the back. And the whole idea is they do these little minuscule vibrations on your bones, and then, yeah, it lets you hear stuff. It's an alternative to headphones. They don't block your ears. And I like this when I would run because it still allowed me to have awareness. Some of these noise canceling headphones, they have that mode where you just tap a button or something and it goes aware. And then suddenly you can hear things on the plane. But then when you tap it again, it goes, silent mode or whatever. And then boom, it's noise canceled. So I like the bone conductor because it still allows you to have that awareness. It allows you to be aware. And so I was like, oh, bone conductor glasses, that has to be the fix, right? But then, it would look weird. And this is where I got to with my conclusion. I'm like, oh, but that would look kind of weird because they would have to vibrate just a little bit. And I'm like, what if you could see that vibration? Because I don't know how the technology works, but I can imagine maybe the bones aren't as conductive in the front of your face than they are on the side of your head. So I was like, oh, would your glasses have to vibrate? And then I was like, how awkward that look when you're out with someone, because you're like, oh my God, that's a great jacket. Like, where'd you get it? And they're like, oh yeah, you like it? No, yeah, my friends were like, oh, it really brings out your eyes, so I got it. But no, I don't remember where I got it from though. Oh, okay. So you remember that story, but you don't remember. Okay, no, that's fine. Sounds like you're gatekeeping. They're like, no, I would tell you where I got it if I remembered, and that way, yeah, we could pop out in the same thing. I would totally do that. I'm like, all right, well, hey, so that response makes it seem like you're purposely not telling me because you're afraid of that happening. No. I said that as an acknowledgement that it's not a problem. So it's not a problem. And imagine they just look over at you and they're like, are you looking at my shit? No, I'm not looking up. No, I'm not looking up your shit. What do you mean? So I think socially that would be a problem. I don't think we do bone conductor technology with smart glasses because, yeah, I think the awkwardness of that, it's too big of a speed bump. Like the thing you're getting around by not having it just feed, in an open speaker and then it just doing, I feel like that's a bigger problem. So I think we're just going to be having to walk around society and hear people's stupid questions that they ask. Like every time you go to a place to eat, you're going to hear everyone around you be like, just going to hear little sound bites that say, this chicken has 37 grams of protein. It's just going to be people reading menus and being like, how much protein does this have? How much fiber does this have? How much sugar does this have? And I'm like, hey, I think we should all just stop eating. How about that? If you're so scared of all these things that are in your food, just don't eat the food. How about that? They make protein powder, just mainline that, huh? Feed it straight in your goddamn arm. I think that'll solve the issue, huh? Another issue I have with food is croissants. Every time I go to a breakfast place, I've pretty much defaulted to getting an English muffin when I get a sandwich. It doesn't even occur to me or like run through the realm of possibilities that I could do a croissant. Because a croissant, it's too flaky. Every time you get a croissant breakfast sandwich, it's almost like you're agreeing to glitter bomb yourself. It's that much of an inconvenience. I had a croissant sandwich just the other day, over the weekend. My whole lap, it looked terrible. It looked like an ant's wet dream. Not the ant, like the sister of one of your parents. I'm talking about like the little guys that can lift like 100 times their weight. If they saw my lap, they would be all over that shit. My aunt would be giving me a lap dance. That's not, again, I don't like how that came out, but I bet a bunch of aunts would give me a lap dance. Not any better. Little better because it's not my aunt, but you know what I'm saying? Because it was just crumb central on my growing area. And I realized the croissant sandwich I had a couple days ago, it was good. And it was like, it's actually better than an English muffin breakfast sandwich, and it's worth the pain. Like, it's worth getting glitter bombed to have that experience, to have that culinary experience. I would glitter bomb myself every time. It's not worth the compromise of an English muffin. Because, yeah, it's clean. You can do it very low key, but it's not good. I know you're basically crumbling a Nature Valley bar all over your shit when you eat a croissant sandwich, but it's worth it. I truly think the payoff is that big. And another thing that people say pays off is working out. So I've been working out recently. Well, not really. Well, yes, I have. Let me explain myself. You know, I talk about my leg and how it's completely fucked up. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it on here. I don't think I've been like properly diagnosed, like it's been in writing, but all signs point to me having peroneal tendonitis. If you want to know what I have peroneal tendonitis in my right foot or leg or ankle, whatever the fuck you would say, in my peroneal tendon. And so that's what I've been dealing with for 2.5 years, if you want to look it up, if you were curious. And so I haven't gone on a walk since October 25th. I checked my app. That's the last time I ever did a 1 mile walk. And so I was, doing my stretches for the past 3 months, and I was brave enough, and I've been feeling good enough recently that just this past Tuesday, I decided, hey, let me do another mile walk. And it felt good. I came back home and I was like, that was awesome. Like, it felt good to sweat a little bit and have that, subtle cardio. And I was like, nice. But, let's not push it, Garb. Let's give yourself a nice break. And so I skipped Wednesday and I went on a walk on Thursday. Did another, just a nice leisurely mile. And that shit fucked me up. It felt so good, but then the next day I woke up and my whole right ankle area, it was just terrible. There was like sharp pinching the entire day. It felt like there was a hand in there that just kept pushing against my skin. It was awful. So I couldn't do it. And so now I like the feeling of sweating. I haven't done it in so long and, worked my heart. And so I'm like, well, I need that. I'm chasing that high again. So I was like, well, let me look up some nice workouts online. And, a fan favorite, oh my God, I love a good Chloe Ting video. I say that unironically. I love what she's doing on there, okay? But the thing is, a lot of her fucking workouts are too high impact on your goddamn lower half. So I can't do them. And so I looked up what are like low impact workouts and I found one. It's not by Chloe Ting, it's by another person. And so I've been doing these YouTube at home workouts and they're awesome. But the problem is, it looks like I'm like poorly dancing the entire time. It looks like I'm moving my body in a way it shouldn't move. So anytime I do these workouts, I close all the blinds in the room that I'm in because I'm like, I don't think anyone should see this. Because I do fear that if my neighbors see me doing this, they're like, oh no, the neighbor, that boy, he's trying to conjure up some spirit. He's trying to summon some, evil thing. And I'm not. I'm just trying to like make sure my body doesn't deteriorate over time. Okay? That's all I'm trying to do by moving my body weight around. And it's been fun. But the thing is, yeah, it does look quite evil. And that's the thing. A lot of these like stretches now that I found the low impact one, it's like I can do most of the stuff, but then there's some stuff I just physically can't do, or I will probably tear something in my right leg. So I've given myself full permission to like, hey, if you can't do it, just don't do it. Just do all the things you can do. And I realize that that's a good compromise because sometimes these workouts, it feels like if I don't do it 100%, there's no point. But now I'm like, no, if I physically can't do them 100%, so I have to do whatever I can do and just be okay with that because I'll never be able to do them. Well, God willing, hopefully I find a way to get past this bullshit in my leg, but I'm never going to be able to like do them 100%. So just like do what you can and be okay with that. It's better than doing fucking nothing. So now my goal is like, yes, 70%. It's an arbitrary number, but 70% of the workout. Hopefully I can do it because I'm sure it looks weird, but it's like I need to do that or I don't know what it's not good. So that's what I do to work out now. I watch these influencers do a beginner booty workout, and that's not a joke. I'm legitimately doing its title is beginner 15-minute. Yeah, it's a 15-minute beginner booty workout. And so I don't want my neighbors to see me doing a beginner booty workout and then they're like, "Oh no, the neighbor kid, he's doing it again." Oh my god, you call me a kid? Thank you so much. But yeah, I really feel like they would call someone and then I don't know, like someone would knock on my door and be like, "Hey, is everything good over here? We just saw something. We were concerned." I'm like, "No, it's you have two things can be right at the same time. You have every right to be concerned, but it's all good. Don't got to worry about me." Actually, what you should worry about is, if I walk around these parts in a few months, might see a bit of a dump truck. Hope the streets are wide enough because your boy's going to be hauling a larger than usual load. I'm going to have to get one of those signs on the back of me that just says takes wide right turns or whatever that is. I'll learn the lingo when the caboose gets big, but that's what I've been doing. And I like it. But something I've also learned about these at-home workouts is that some of these influencers are too fit for no reason. Like they're recreationally moving through life in a form that is too much. Like athletes, I get how athletes look like that because they're freaks and they're like doing this crazy day to day. What they do day in, day out for years on end, it makes sense why they have to be built that way. But some of these influencers are recreationally too in shape. You shouldn't look like that just to go grocery shopping and order stuff on Amazon. I don't think you need that. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It's like bringing a bazooka to like a high school skeet shooting competition. It's like, hey, just you don't need that, okay? Reel it in a little bit. You don't have to be looking. It's scaring me a little bit because I'm like, you shouldn't. What's the point of that, right? It doesn't make sense. It's like someone wearing. It's like when you see international students in college and they have like designer bags at a 9 a.m. math lecture. You're like, hey, what is that? Why is that here? And they're like, because it's like awesome. I'm like, no, it is awesome, but why is it here? Like if these influencers, luckily they live in these big cities where like, everyone is insane looking. But like if you go to the Costco and you see someone that's just in great shape, I don't think you should be. I think, Costco, they have the membership. There is a certain floor you have to be at, but there should also be a ceiling. If you should be able to be too good for a Costco. I truly believe that. Like there should be, hey, if you look at that like that, you shouldn't be around here, okay? This is where, right, people go because they want like discounted winter wear for like $20, okay? They want the Kirkland brand shit. What you're doing to your body is unnatural. It's actually too natural. It's like if we were back in the days when we had to like run from animals, it makes sense why someone would look like that because you have to be like peak physical form. But now, we watch like smoothie recipes and overnight oat recipes with like 40 grams of protein in them on TikTok. And then we go to parent teacher conferences for our kid. You shouldn't look like that. So, yeah. But maybe I'm just upset at these people, live in their peak physical form because I've been sick again. I don't think, you know what? I've spent more days this year sick than I have healthy. I don't know what's happening. I think my body's conspiring against me. 2 days ago, I'm recording this right now. It's 7:48 p.m. on Monday, January 26th. I didn't even know if I was going to record an episode today because 2 days ago, my body, something happened. My stomach completely turned into a knot and I was like throwing up all night. And then yesterday, I could not eat any food. I ordered ramen because apparently, ramen with miso soup is like good to eat when you're feeling this way. I fucking ordered ramen, $30 order of ramen. I even got the extra egg for $2.60. I ate 5 spoons of that shit and I was like, I can't do it. Yesterday, all I ate was 5 spoons of ramen and one of those like little 8-ounce cool blue Gatorades. I couldn't eat anything else. I finished one of the eggs, but then I didn't eat the other egg. I just paid $2.60 more for nothing. So I even, I had to take off work today because, I physically couldn't like go like do anything because my stomach was having that many issues. But I'm like started to normal out near the end of the day, and I feel a little better now. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know if it's anything is going on, but my body is like not doing well. How ironic. Refer to the name of the podcast. But luckily, not everything's bad, right? Last week I was healthy, and last week I think it was really showing. I was glowing last week because, yeah, I told you I got all those compliments last week. And I forgot about one even compliment. One got lost in the mix. I received so many, I forgot. But I was wearing, I've been wearing those shoes I talked about a few podcasts ago. The Yuto Horigome Dunks. They're probably my most expensive pair of shoes, but I had to go to UPS to drop something off, and I was, waiting in line, and one of the girls that works there, she walked behind me to get something that printed out of the printer, and then she came back to the desk, and she was helping me next, and so when I stepped up, she said, by the way, I really like your shoes. I think they're cool. I was like, oh, wow, thank you so much. And she was like, yes, can I have your package? I was like, well, I think we're moving a little fast. And she was like, no, the box in your hand. I was like, oh, right. That's not, I'm sorry. I'm not, thank you for the compliment. I'm just not used to that kind of stuff. So I'm in like a league of, I'm like out of my bounds here. Okay. I'm in over my head. I didn't know what to do with that. And I'm sorry. She was like, where do you need to ship it? I have a return label. I just emailed it to you guys. She was like, all right, it'll be $1. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You can take $2 if you want. Do you want to donate to the kids? It'll be like an extra $5. Yeah, sure. The kids deserve it. I don't know what I was thinking. But no, this UPS is super psyched on me. You see, I got a compliment on my Yuto Horigome dunks, and then I also have this pair of dunks, the Why So Sad dunks. I've gone to UPS 3 times in the past. I've gotten compliments on those. So I am at a 4 dunk compliment UPS streak. It's not a streak. They don't say it every time. But they really like when I wear dunks. I don't know what it is. Maybe it brings out my eyes. Something about a blue neutral dunk. People love seeing it on me, Tell you what, it's not even the best part of my lower half. We have fun, don't we, on this podcast? But no, I forgot I got that compliment. Isn't that so cool? I have a friend, she works on backyards. She like helps people plan and design them, and then they bring in, the team, and they, make magic happen. But she was telling me recently, she was like, I have the most projects at our firm. Like, usually everyone should be doing like 3-4 projects. She was like, I have 6 or 7. Wow, what is it? The 3rd, 4th week in the new year? But he just hit him with a 6-7. Sorry. You have to understand, I'm a little under the weather. These things happen. They slip out when you're not, right in your mind. But she was like, I have like 6 or 7 projects. And she's like, usually it's like everyone has about 3, right? But now the people at the firm, they don't even have any projects going. I'm like overworked. And I don't know why I said this, but we were like talking more. I was like, hey, well, some people die of thirst. Some people die by drowning. And she was like, I like that. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, okay, I'm glad. I say a thing. Someone's like, that was actually some good shit. Wait a minute. I like what came out of your mouth. I know most people don't, but I like that one. Okay. Well, what was the first part about? I recently got a comment, very nice comment. I know the person has good intentions, but on my main channel, I think I'll put it here. I think I remember which reel it was or short it was posted on. They said something along the lines of like, I don't care what other people say. I think you're funny. I'm like, well, hold on. Well, what do other people say? What have you seen? Huh? It's funny because I've literally said this joke to people before. Because like it's a joke. You know what? I don't care what they say about you. I like spending time with you. Oh, well, hold on. What did other people say? I think I've talked about this on this podcast. That's like a funny little backhanded compliment if you want to give your friends. It's a little fun bit, huh? But I sincerely got that comment the other day. I was like, well, okay. That's not doing what you think it does. Okay. But she was like, I like that. I'm going to actually text that to my group chat right now. And then naturally we just started talking about like, what would be a better way to die, drowning or thirst? And I was like, oh, thirst for sure. For sure. And she was like, oh no, I would rather drown. I was like, what? Seriously? She was like, yeah. She's like, it's quick. It's over with. I'm like, yeah, it's quicker, but it's like more terrifying. thirst, you can kind of just peter out, right? Your body just kind of gives up at a point because it's like, fuck, water, Sandy, water, you know? But drowning is like the most terrifying last few minutes of your life. Why would you want that? And she's like, no, I would prefer that. And I was like, I don't think that's a popular opinion. And she was like, when I text my girls group chat, I'll let you know what they say next time I see you. I was like, okay. I just wanted to let you know that you have to be prepared to be wrong, because I truly think most people would rather die of thirst. That's the popular opinion, right? I don't know. Well, it doesn't really matter which way you want to die, because you just need to have ice in your city and then you might die. Ice murdered another person, Alex Preddy. Isn't that crazy? You know what? People don't like when I repeat stuff on this podcast, so this is actually a problem. A couple weeks ago, I talked about how they murdered Renee Good. Well, now I'm mentioning they murdered another person. I don't think Ice understands the rules of entertainment, because you can't run reruns. Unless you're The Office, you can't keep repeating stuff. People, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like people are getting a little upset. Seems like a bit of a tired bit that Ice is doing. But no, they murdered Alex Preddy. Isn't that crazy? Another murder. This is bad. It's bad for entertainment and humanity, but mostly entertainment. But yeah, they did that. Isn't that crazy? They don't understand the rules. You can't keep doing it. People will catch on, right? One's a fluke. 2 is like a coincidence. 3's a pattern. We'll see what happens, But another thing I've noticed that's happened is these corporate social media accounts. Have you noticed them? There was this big rise a few years back. I think it was like right before COVID, or maybe like right around COVID or some shit. But Wendy's was the first one to do it. Wendy's nuts are on your chin. But no, Wendy's Twitter, they were kind of the ones, right? The Lewis and Clark, Sacagawea, that kind of pioneered the path of like insufferable brand accounts being like personalized individuals. And I realized, I think that was like a soft launch into now AI branding. And because I think we got so comfortable looking at these corporations as individuals, as people, then now we just kind of slurp up AI slop with pleasure. We're like, oh, that's kind of nice that they made this little graphic that looks too smooth around the edges and is devoid of any humanity. I like this. This is a nice way for me to learn that Burger King has a new Whopper. So I think it's Wendy's fault. Because all those years ago, when Wendy started clapping back at people and started being like, shut the fuck up, and everyone was like, I liked that a corporate counter said that. I think that kind of paved the way. It was a dangerous, slippery slope, because now we give a pass to like, yeah, these corporations, like AI slap posting on Maine, and we're like, oh no, I like that. I'm like, no, but that's the problem. We were too okay before. This is a gateway drug to where we're at now. So now, yeah, we see these ads that these goddamn, companies do, and then we eat it up. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it should be done. I think this was too dangerous. Because Wendy's, they were taking too many liberties, and it was fun at first, but we should have shut it down quick. Like when they were just responding to individuals, and, individuals were like, Wendy's, why the fuck, do you have square patties? And they were like, well, you are what you eat, and you look like a square motherfucker. It's like, oh my God. And then we start imagining it's the girl with the red pigtails saying all this shit. But no, it's a fucking intern that Wendy's hired, and they apparently gave him the password to the account. And then they were like, yeah, run wild, do whatever you want. And then it worked, but it shouldn't have worked. That was one, we'll look back in history. That was an inflection point. I truly think, yeah, this individualization of corporate accounts is the reason we like AI, or not, I don't want to speak for everyone, but why certain people like AI so much. Because we got used to this corporate garbage. You go on any influencers, like TikTok nowadays, it's just a bunch of brands in the top comments. It's like Gillette being like, yes, girl, shut the fuck up, Gillette, okay? She doesn't even use your razors, okay? Well, she does, but it's the woman's Gillette that's like pink and costs $7 more. Fuck you, okay? But I know they're probably, sending her care packages, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's all these weird ass brands. He's probably got Bass Pro Shops. Is that what the name of that one? You got that just in the comments of like an NBA post. And it's like, what are we doing? Damn, Alex Crusoe really threw it down. And it's like Popeyes commenting that. It's like, what have you... Damn, that was a slam dunk. You know what else is a slam dunk? Our new fucking Denny's slam dunk meal, which they've already had. But now they're just... Oh no, Denny's does a grand slam, don't they? I bet Denny's is active as fuck during the MLB season. They're just, a grand slam. Wow, grand slam. Just a reminder, we got those on the menu. Die. Sorry. See, it even feels bad to tell a brand that because now they're like an individual in our heads. So it felt a little extreme for me to say that now. But it's a goddamn breakfast place. Okay? It's where theater kids go after their, performance that they put on for their parents like 7 times. First the opening weekend when they had like 4 shows, and the next weekend when they had 3 shows, and then they finish every goddamn show at the goddamn Wendy's. They terrorize that place. So yeah. This is the world we live in. No. That is kind of crazy, right? Like, why did IHOP never get that reputation? It was always Denny's. And I already know the answer because I was a Denny's frequent visitor. If they had a punch card when I was in high school, oh my God, I would be on the Wendy's rewards program. But unfortunately, the Wendy's I used to go to when I was in high school, they've actually shut down. I think they turned into what is it called? A Huckleberries? I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's like a shitty other breakfast spot. I remember we would it was maybe 3-4 times a week during the summer of 2016. Speaking of, the 2016 trend that everyone's doing, showing pictures of themselves 10 years ago, which is also a miserable trend because, that you read the comments of that trend and it's like brands being like, oh my God, the glow up. And then it's like real people being like, don't put this shit on social media. They're collecting data on you. This is a psyop. They just want pictures of you when you were younger. And I'm like, what is the world now? Everything on social media sucks ass except this. This is the saving grace of social media, baby. But it is funny that IHOP never got that reputation of being like the theater kid place. And like I said, I was on the field. I was in those streets when that was happening. It's because the tax bracket reason. You have to be in a different tax bracket to go to IHOP. I remember when you're a senior in high school, they have all those like final events, like the day before the first day of school. It's like senior sunrise. It's like when you all gather on the football field and you watch the sunrise. And then, when the year ends, it's called senior sunset, where you go to a park and you watch the sunset all together. And, there's that one artsy person walking around with a Polaroid picture. And they take a Polaroid of you, and you're like, I don't think we really talk to each other. They're like, yeah, but this is a nice little memory to have. And you're like, yeah, I guess it is. Can I have that Polaroid? They're like, no, I'm going to put it in my Instagram dump, and then I'm going to throw it away. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You're going to tag me, though, right? It's like, no, I don't follow you. Okay, yeah, fuck me, I guess. But no, I remember before, I think it was senior sunrise, we decided, a group of friends and we went to IHOP. And I remember the fucking sausage was like 2 sausage links for like $4. I was like, what are we doing? This should not be allowed. Actually, it wasn't 4. That doesn't seem right. I feel like it was like something stupid like 7. And they were skinny. They were skinny sausage links. And I remember my friends the entire year made fun of me. They were like, yeah, you fucking ordered the sausage at IHOP. I'm like, yeah, God forbid I go to a breakfast place and I get that. They're like, yeah, well, at least you didn't get the croissant because then it would have fucked everyone's fit. I'm like, oh yeah, our fits. Our high school fits. You mean our basketball shorts and our shirts, our t-shirts. And then we were seniors, right? So you have a class color. So I think seniors were pink. So we're wearing pink shirts and fucking Nike basketball shorts, black socks and Vans. Ordering $7 sausages. What the fuck kind of world is that? You don't have a credit card of your own, so you like use like the small little allowance that your parents gave you on a debit card, and you have to explain yourself. They're like, what's this fucking charge from IHOP? What, did someone steal your card? I'm like, no, I did that damage myself. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And you're going to college next year? Well, no, actually later this year. I don't think we should send you. I think we're going to keep you home. I don't think you're ready for the real world if you're ordering $7 sausages from IHOP. But that's why theater kids would never go there. It's not affordable. Doesn't have the same aura as a Denny's. Denny's has a certain vibe to it, even in the color. IHOP, there's a reason they did that whole IHOP thing, because that's so in line with who they are. Denny's would never do that. They're going to keep promoting the same shitty Grand Slam meals for like 20 years. No one's going to order it, but it's still going to find its way on the menu because they're like, no, it's kind of what we have decided, so we're going to stick with it. And that's kind of poetic because that's what I'm doing with this podcast. Doesn't matter how many people show up. I've decided I'm doing this and I'm going to show up every goddamn week. So, just like a Denny's Grand Slam meal, expect me here week after week. As long as you show up, I will too. And even if you don't, I'll be right here. And I got some song recs for you. We got Bittersweet by Madison Beer. It's off her new album, Lock It. I also got Poets on the Pavement by Riam. I think that's how you pronounce their name. Both of those songs, they're great for like a long drive. You ever go on a freeway at like night? This always happens to me after a Kings game. You're driving home and it's like 10 p.m. or something and there's no one on the freeway. So you can just go. You don't have to stop right in traffic. Those are some great songs for that situation. And then you got Moves Tonight by Boy Loco. This song sounds eerily similar to Feel It Still by Portugal the Man. So if that's your vibe, I think you'd like that song too. Make sure you keep listening to this podcast on Spotify. I saw some more reviews, 5-star reviews. Thank you guys so much. If you did that, the likes on last week's episodes were so great. I want to say thank you so much for the support on that too. Thank you for showing up every week. It means the most. No matter how sick I feel, I know I have every right to be blessed because there's people listening to this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll talk to you next week. Okay?